Welcome everyone to the Divine Feminine Ascension Council. It's just Bianca and I here today. I'm Wendy Liu. Thank you for joining us. We just thought we'd record a little bit of just us talking about what we're seeing personally. And Bianca and I both kind of have this gift of sight for the collective, of being able to see timelines coming and such. And so we thought we'd just talk about what we're seeing coming up to we are coming up to August and into the Lionsgate portal. And so a lot going on, you guys. So we're just gonna chat about what we're seeing coming.
Yes, thank you, Wendy, for introducing us today. And we were just talking actually that both of us went through a physical cleanse or purge, meaning that we both just felt tired. Like on my end, I felt tired and weak. And I know, Wendy, you experienced what we would call in our old language a cold.
Yes.
So it feels very much like the energies are really pushing out the crap out of ourselves. It's really a lot of a physical detox. That's what I'm feeling. I'm just feeling still really tired, headache, dizziness, and the need to frequently ground. Like it's really intense right now. We are preparing for big shifts. That is for sure.
Yeah, and it definitely has been, and it kind of, again, we're trying to shift our wording we use, right? Because all these phrases going into my head, like my whole family, I almost said my whole family was hit by this cold, right? And it's always such a kind of abrupt, like this external force, right? When really we were all, when your family, even biological family, you have a connection and you have similarities in your makeup, right? Like my family, we're all, I had a friend who once said, my maiden name is Swanson, which I don't know if anybody cares, but I had a friend who once said, when we all started having kids, me and my siblings, they all look alike. All of our kids look alike. You can tell they're related and we all look alike. And so it's like the spouses kind of genes are kind of kicked to the side. And I had a friend who said, boy, the Swanson genes just kick everything out, don't they? And I was like, yeah, so we're all really connected on the DNA level, right? And so it makes sense. We were just at a family reunion from celebrating my mom's 70th birthday. And it was really fun, actually. It was actually wonderful. But it's it's a drive for us, but we're with everybody, and just about everybody, got hit, air quotes, by this cold. Within days of each other, everybody was getting sick. And so, of course, really what's happening, right? We're all getting together. We're affecting each other's energies. We're subtly triggering each other, or sometimes not so subtly, right? We're triggering each other, and we're triggering this beautiful cleanse in each other so that we can all be more prepared for what's coming. And I will tell you, my family, like my mom, I have a mom, I have my nephew's girlfriend, of all things, she's not even related yet, and a cousin who are on the awakening path and understand my language. The rest of them don't know what I'm talking about. They think I've just gone a little crazy, but they like it, like they kind of like it. They still really like me. They still are really drawn to me for some reason, but when I get my cards out, most of them just kind of wander away and leave the room. But they think it's fun, and maybe a phase, who knows. But so yeah, it's interesting that even those who are not yet feeling this awakening on a conscious level, they even had the cleanse. So that tells me, and I'll put this as gently as I can, there is no denying this anymore. We cannot stop it. Yeah. And you can't not do it. Like if you're, as far as I'm concerned, if you're still here, and of course people are leaving every day, right? And it's sad. Those of us left behind, we grieve. It's very sad. They're choosing this. But if you're still here, then you're likely here for the Lionsgate. You're here for the long haul. You're here to lead. If you're watching us, you're a light worker, more than likely, and you're here to lead. And so you're probably starting to feel the stirrings of that, kicking in. And then when we get, like then you get these, like we were talking about before we hit record, it's like we just have needed to rest for the last week or so. And you can probably hear it in my voice too. I had a horribly sore throat. And I've just had kind of a nonstop throat thing, upgrades happening for 3+ years now. because I know that my mission is largely speaking, public speaking. I'm also a classically trained singer. I'm hoping that is part of my mission too at some point. And so it's all vocal. It's all vocal. I'll be sharing my story, with my voice. And so I've had so much, a lot of upgrades. We say whatever you want to call it: upgrade, cleanse, purge, downloads, breakthroughs. It's all good stuff. It's not fun always, but
yeah. And I'm definitely, when you said speaking up, I could feel in the energies that there was definitely an upgrade for many people in the throat chakra, because this is such a time where we're really called to speak our truth, where we are really called to speak up. I mean, I see in Europe that the reins are still getting tighter around the most dominant topic around the world right now.
We'll try to avoid the words so we don't get kicked off.
So we can get the video out there. And there is, the force is getting stronger and stronger, the push towards getting this injection. I'm sure you all know what I mean, right? And I feel that this is where we're really called to step it up. And this is why many people, including you probably, Wendy, are going through throat chakra upgrades as well, because we're really here to speak the truth. We're here to say what we have to say about this, right? And I feel personally that it may be a good thing that the push is getting stronger, because people are now starting to question more and more.
Right. As
And
more stories come out about, negative aspects, I think people are starting to realize that maybe they're not really sure what's going on. And, that's all part of the old, where, and I know it's a baby step process. It's not going to happen overnight, but that is one of the things we're going to be leaving behind, is this, this kind of need to, I always said it doesn't make sense that we're so ill-equipped to exist on this planet, that we need all these things, right? These from birth. It never made sense to me. And so I do feel like we're leaving all that behind. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it is a call for sovereignty.
Absolutely.
That's what it really is.
Yep.
And it's a call to tune into our bodies. That's why our bodies are going through this purge and this cleanse, so that we actually feel more light in our bodies, and that we actually connect on a deeper level with our physical body. And when we tune in, then we know what is good for us, and then we know what is not good for us. And this is what we're claiming back, right? We're claiming back this connection between our soul and our physical body, where we can bring more of our soul into our physical body. And we first need to make space. And I feel this is something that is definitely going to happen through the Lion's Gate, and in preparation to the Lion's Gate. It's just bringing more of our soul into our body. It's like we're being squished and squashed and pushed back, right? Into our bodies. There's a lot of us.
We're being sliced and diced, and
right? Like we try to, hover around, and we talked about this before. And I feel this is really where we're called to be that bridge more than ever before, where we are not floating around and just being up there in another dimension. We're really called to also ground ourselves into this dimension, because we're bridging the gap, right? And I feel that's what the Lion's Gate is offering us as an opportunity as well. It's offering us the purge on a physical level, to make space for more of our soul and more of our sovereignty to come in. And at the end of the day, it's all about alignment, right? We want to align with our thoughts, right? We want to bring our thoughts, our words, and our actions into alignment. And this is just, the Lion's Gate is just helping us to say, if someone does something that we don't agree with, that we're strong enough to say it, because that's what humanity has been doing. To please everyone else, we've been not saying things. We've been keeping the negative emotions around, because we haven't stood up for ourselves, and we haven't stood up for what we thought that was right. right?
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of times we just go along with the crowd because we don't want to be different, right? We don't want to stick out. And a lot of it comes from, we have a lot of persecution energy from past lives. So many of us, we talk about this a lot. So many of us were labeled witches or whatever term they used wherever we lived at one point. And because we were magical healing, beings, we were tortured and killed. And so we've carried that energy in, and we're afraid to speak up for that same reason. And we've been told, and I know everybody's guides are coming and telling them, everybody's talking about it. It's like this, and this is not going to happen in this life. We didn't come here to repeat that. We came here to heal it. But I want to touch on too the Lion's Gate. And if you look at the symbolism, right, the lion, and I had just finished up a energy forecast for a project that I do for August, and it was all about, okay, we've been cultivating. Think about what we've been doing the last few months, maybe even 6 months or more. We have really been going inward, cultivating, going into the darkness, going into the void, really going into the feminine energy, right? Because we are the darkness, we are the void energy, and healing and doing deep healing. Now we are emerging through this Lion's Gate. Think about a lion. It's always depicted as a male lion, right? Which I think is perfect, because it's now we're going to be emerging with bringing our masculine back up, waking him up, right? He's been sleeping a while we've been healing, and this is not in a negative way, but we've been doing the passive work, right? Like, yes, it's very important, and it's vital, and it's an intentional thing, but it's the passive work. And now we can act through and it's so important too, when we are speaking our truth, to speak from our hearts. You were saying, yes, we should, now is the time to stand up for ourselves, to really truly not hold back, but we have to make sure we're doing it from the heart space, so that we're not creating, my guides always say, just don't create any more karma. That's your goal for today. Just don't create any more karma, because we don't need any more karma. We've healed pretty much all of it, but this beautiful divine masculine energy coming in is really going to, it's like it's going to spit us out the other side, and we're all going to come down and do the superhero landing. If everybody knows what that is, that they all land, right? Like Spider-Man does, and we're going to be ready to go. We're going to be ready to move and go and act. And one phrase that keeps coming through for me for August is, if you came here to be a leader, now is the time. Okay, now is the time to really step that up and own that, and know that, if that stirs anything in you, right? If that makes you nervous, if it makes you a little nervous, then it's probably, that message is for you. It's time. It's time. And I was terrified of that for a long time. So I understand the apprehension, but now I'm just kind of like, let's just do this. I'm so ready to, I've done so much work, not for nothing, right? We're preparing for what's coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful
and I
shift.
feel that with the Lion's Gate, we really gonna be called to step into action, right? So we're purging now, we're cleansing our thoughts, we're cleansing our mind, we're working on ourselves. And then there comes a time where we really want to bring all of this into physical manifestation, right? Where we want to bring all the change that we have created within ourselves into the outer society. Mm-hmm. And this is, I feel like, what the Lion's Gate is gonna just trigger us to do. So we may actually see in August a bit more chaos. Right. We may actually see that things are being pushed away from our lives, because we're meant to take action in a different way. We're meant to take action in, as you said, we are meant to be leaders. We're meant to create something in society that is different from what has already existed. Right? Absolutely. Because we always talk a lot about vibration and energy. And yes, this is absolutely true. And at the same time, we do want to see physical manifestation. And this is not happening if we're not stepping into action, if we're not creating the new schools, if we're not creating new businesses, if we're not creating the things that we actually want to see more of, or supporting the things that we see from others. Right.
We have to allow that. A lot of us, especially divine You know, those of us who came in to bring in the divine feminine, no matter what physical package you chose, right? But we tend to be kind of afraid of our masculine side. And so it's a time to allow that lion to, you know, unleash that lion from your heart, right? From your heart, let him come out and do his job, and you know, and begin the creation process in the physical, you know, because without that, what's the point? Sure, we're still doing beautiful healing and growing and evolving and ascending, but if we're not building on the next level, if we're not building on every next level, then we don't get to really sit and enjoy what we've all this, you know, we don't reap the rewards and the benefits of all this hard work we've done. And that's okay to have a party to celebrate everything we've done. You know, I think a lot of us too are so work oriented, right? Like, we came here to work. Like, oh no, I don't have time for fun, and I just need to keep working. And you know, that's where this, along with this kind of fierce lion, I'm also seeing a huge growth in the inner child. The inner child will not be ignored anymore. And the inner child wants to come up and be integrated and be part of this creation process, because the inner child is the one who knows what we're building, right? Our mental mind, our, you know, our ego, our old energy, our wise old energy is great and beautiful for the concepts. But in the actual building, it's that inner child bringing in the new energies, you know, along with this new generation, you know, these new generations too are coming in with it. But our inner children know, they know what we're building. And so it's time to pay attention to them, or they're going to start throwing fits.
Yep. And take big, bold steps. That's
right.
That's
like kids would do, right? Like skipping steps when they go up and down steps. Like we need to really channel that energy, that fearlessness.
Yep. And that's what the Lion's Gate is going to be symbolizing this time. At least that's what I'm feeling this year. It's about taking action in a big, bold way. It's about taking this big leaps in terms of action, you know? So what can I do? I feel different now. I think different now. How am I going to show this in the outside world? Because that's what we're ultimately here for, right?
Yep, we want to shift into, and yes, we're human beings, right? There's that saying, oh, we're not human doings. It's time to do. It's time to act. It's time to create in the physical, because now that we've, you know, it's all been a process getting us here, where this old matrix is now, we've swept it away. We've swept it away. We're creating the new crystalline, the 5D grid, and we've already started creating. I feel like almost there's like shimmers and shadows of what will be, right? Because everything's already happened, right? Everything's happening simultaneously, really. We just don't have that awareness in this density. But I can already see, like, you know, when you tune into that 5D grid, I can already see this world. I can already see this Mecca, this utopia that we're going to be building. And no, it's not going to be you know, we have to kind of let go of, no, it's not going to be nirvana. It is not going to be perfect. That is a process. But we are letting go of a lot of big, old, heavy, ugly stuff that we're not bringing with us into this new reality. And it's going to take some integration time to get used to it. But I really think this Lion's Gate is a huge, huge pivot point for this new reality coming in. But, you know, I can see what we're going to be building, what my children are going to be building, and my grandchildren are going to be building. And, you know, there's no, and I think I'm not the only one who's talked about this, but there's no AI controlled prison timeline anymore. That is gone. We have done the work, you guys. Congratulations. Pat yourselves on the back. Hug yourself, because you did it. We did enough. We did enough. Now, I would say a lot of people are saying, oh, well, we narrowly missed it. You know, it doesn't matter. I always tell people, you know, my, you know, I have my kids, some are really good in school, some weren't. Guess what? They all got high school diplomas. It doesn't matter, right? They did it. They made it. They graduated. And so, yeah, we did it. It's not there anymore. It's been swept away. It could not exist in this new high vibration that we've been bringing in, because more and more people are seeing that this, you know, this low vibe ugliness is just not, it's not feasible anymore. It's not sustainable anymore. And it's not fun anymore. It's exhausting, right? Like it ever was fun, but you know what I mean? It's not a comfort. We used to use that place of being afraid all the time as a comfort zone, right? we're done with it.
Yeah.
We're just so done with it. And that lion, I'm already feeling kind of that lion. The portal's already opened, right? I think it opened yesterday officially. The Lion's Gate begins to open on the 26th of July, which is the day we are recording this. And, and then it kind of is completely open. I think that's how it works. I don't know. Forgive me if I've got the, the verbiage wrong, but from what I see is then it completely kind of flies open on the 8th. And that's the shift point, right? And then after that is the integrating the new energies and seeing what we brought through.
From there. That's what I'm also seeing, is that we're not going to be taking any bullshit from people anymore. We're not going to be supporting behavior that is unhealthy, that is unkind, that is all different things. Like, we will say no to different situations and different people that we just can't stand anymore. It's like we're getting really intolerant against the old, right? Because the new is coming in so strongly for all of us.
Yes, but the intolerance too is shifting, like, into a more loving space too. It's more of just not even really hearing it, right? We're not even really even going to hear it or see it or feel it. We'll just walk right through it. So I get this, and I want to give everybody kind of a visualization, because this has helped me. And this came to me actually years ago when I was first starting this journey, and I still see myself this way, is, those of us who came in to bring this energy in, let's say, right? Those of us who've done this before, we imagine yourself. I got this vision again, like I said, years ago. I imagined, and I hate to put the 3D world like this, but I imagined myself walking through a, what do they call it? A junkyard. And it was piled high with like broken cars, and it's kind of it's a dark kind of creepy place, and there's cats screeching, and the little creatures scurrying or whatever, and it feels like a very low vibe place, and it's nighttime, and I'm walking through, but I have this beautiful glow, this bubble that's like it goes out 6 feet out from my body, and it's surrounding me, all around me, even into the ground under my feet. There are no holes, there are no gaps, there are no tears. It's completely surrounding me. And I was wearing this kind of flowy white gown on the inside, and just glowing, and just walking through this junkyard, knowing that nothing could harm me, knowing that no matter what, I was going to get to where I was going without anybody, knocking me off my path. So it didn't matter what happened. And so if you can imagine yourself, we're all that kind of light being, right? We came here, it's been a dark reality, and we came here to help humanity step through that and leave it in their past so that they can evolve and ascend. And so, imagine yourself, if that helps, that visualization, just imagine yourself in this protective bubble where you are, you are powerful, you are empowered, you are sovereign. Nothing can harm you in that bubble. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a cleanse like Bianca and I have experienced, right? We're going to go through these things to keep up with the energies, that are always evolving. We're at the forefront, right? We're at the fore of this shift. And so we're going to be shifting the energies first. We're shifting the energies first so that it's easier for everybody coming in behind us. And so the Lion's Gate it's every time even when I say it, I just get this wave. It's going to be a big.
It's big. And with that, I do feel that, like, that's just a potential, right? A potential timeline. I do see that there will be more waves of disclosures, like not everyone is going to see them. It's for those who are, getting more aware and awake, but they will start being more visible. The information that is truth, right, in the higher truth, is going to start to be more visible. So people will not need to look as deeply as we probably had to look, right?
Oh, goodness,
it will be more there.
We had a lot of blind trust, I think, right? That they won't have to, they won't have to possess as much as we did.
Yeah. That's what I'm definitely seeing as well. There's this shift towards truth, right? Whatever that means. And we know truth has different levels as well, right? However, there will be, more layers of truth that will be revealed for everyone. Even for us, I feel like there will be something new, some aha in the woke or awakening collective as well. That is some higher truth that we've
I mean,
been
I
looking
hope so,
for
right?
as
Because
well.
those are the moments we still can, like I always say, I hope I never stop geeking out, you know, when massive like synchronicities happen, because that's the payoff, right? That's the fun part about this, is when you get that repeating number that, you know, isn't just a repeating number, but let's say it has a really deep meaning for you, and it just makes you happy. I'm hoping, I hope we have more aha, you know, of course we will, right? We're always evolving, but yeah, definitely. And it's not that, you know, August 9th, the chaos and the upheaval is all going to just stop. That's not what we're saying, right? We're saying that you're going to be able to discern and see through all the crap and the stuff that isn't real and the stuff that doesn't mean anything anymore and the stuff that's going. The stuff, you know, it's like, okay, well, I can walk past that and never look back again, never think of it again. And but everybody's going to be taking that step in their own time. And, you know, again, as we've been saying this whole journey, you can't force anybody, you can't pull anybody along. They have to take the steps on their own, even parents, you know, even your children. Although I tend to believe that children are already way ahead of us on this path, right? Like we're not having to yank any children along. They're, if anything, they're like stopping and waving their arms and going, hurry up, come this way. You know, they're already there. But yeah, you know, if you have adult children, you know, if you have adult children that maybe aren't in that category anymore, but we can't even pull them along. You know, they've got to do it all on their own, and they will. They will, because as you said, Bianca, we're not going to be able to not see it for much longer. And the transition period is going to be chaotic still. You know, well, because of a lot of people, you know, we both have gone through these periods of, yes, yeah, and we've both gone through these periods of anger when we find out the truth about some things, right? You just get so angry because you believed a lie, right? You believed the illusion. And, you know, the anger comes from the fact that it was facilitated with a dark intention, you know, by whatever. But we have to remember, we agreed to this as a collective. On the level of our collective consciousness, we agreed to go through this for our own growth. And so we chose every step of this, and we're going to start to see that. We're going to start to see that. And I think that awareness too helps you take more responsibility for your own journey and your own path, and stop blaming everybody for your life, right? Stop blaming other people for what's happened to you, and really take charge of your own journey.
Yep.
And that's when it becomes an adventure versus a prison. So we will all be getting there.
And we will start to be more at peace and at ease with those life changes, right? Because ultimately, the ultimate truth is that we exist, right? No more, no less.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if we're alone. It doesn't matter if we're, you know, the house burns down or whatnot. You know, at the end of the day, the ultimate truth is that we just are. And I feel that we will go a lot more into that 0 point energy, where we are being less affected by what is happening on the outside, because we understand that we are infinity and that we are eternity, right? So we will know and understand more that moments are just moments, and that they will pass, and that we will not feel the same in a minute than we felt now. So we will, what it feels like is that we're gonna get less stuck in the mud, right?
Yes,
because
yes,
some
I
of
like
us,
that.
we tend to do that, something happens, and we tend to cling on to that feeling for some reason, right? And we project that moment. We think this is never gonna end, and it's gonna be like that forever. And it feels like we're gonna move just a lot faster than we did before.
Yes, and being aware, that's been huge for me too. That was a huge shift for me that is fairly recent. Is just, you know, when I am having purges or cleansing, right? And you know, I feel like the shadows are coming up, or whatever might be coming up. I have this new awareness now where I'm like, okay, this is just a moment. This is not forever. This is something that I need to work through to get to the next place, right? It's, you know, life isn't about the one destination. You know, we were all raised, especially in a religion, what's the one destination? Heaven, right? Or the other place, right? That, you know, neither one of them really exist. there are a billion, quadrillion, gazillion destinations on this journey. And, you know, really, if you think about it, every moment we've reached that destination. If you're still here, you know, you've reached however many seconds you've been on this planet, that's how many destinations you've successfully reached. So, you know, it's all about the journey. It's all about the adventure in the moment. And we are kind of being forced, like that past, once we shed that, where it's almost, I hate to say forced, but it does feel like that, like there won't be we'll be able to let that past go, and there just won't be anything left there for us to dwell in. You know, they say depression is dwelling in the past, whereas anxiety is fear of the future. Well, we'll have such a brighter outlook of the future. That's going to heal a lot of anxiety, right? And that past is going to feel so disconnected and distant from us that you won't be able to sit in that energy anymore. So it's not necessarily a force, but just to like, oh, it's just not there anymore to connect to, and to keep you stuck in that mud. So even though you may step in the puddle and sit there for a second waiting to get stuck, you'll realize, oh, I don't have to sit here anymore. I can keep moving. It's definitely a very active, forward moving energy coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do feel with that we have covered the main points. Or did you want to add anything more, Wendy? I felt this was kind of a nice finish to what we have said.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the one thing that I try to tell everybody is, you know, there's nothing really, if you can see it as, you know, I don't do, you know, Bianca and I both do kind of, you know, readings, we pull cards, that kind of thing. We don't do these things to scare people. Oh God, this is what's coming and I should be afraid. You know, these kind of foretellings are done. Well, first of all, we're always in our heart space when we're sharing these messages, because we want to give you the tools and the information you need to prepare yourself and to be ready and to be able to, you know, there is no reason why we cannot ride these waves instead of let them take us under, right? Let them pull us under and drown us. You can do that, right? You can do that, but you know, you're going to get there eventually. And you know, if you're one of those people that needs that story of, well, I almost died, you know, 100 times over, then that's what you chose, right? But you know, for a lot of us, we just want to, we're ready to be done with the suffering and the struggling. And so we're not sharing this message to make you go, oh God, this, you know, what if I'm not ready? I promise you're going to be exactly where you need to be. Okay, and chances are, again, if you're watching us, if you've actually made it to the end of this recording, then you are a light worker. You already know, you know, at least a glimmer of what your path entails, right? Whatever your passion, you're probably already on it quite a ways. Just keep moving forward, and know that it's all in our highest good. Know that it's temporary, right? Anytime you're in that low vibe, and just know that we're always moving forward. And there is, you know, we try not to say light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because it's kind of an odd metaphor, really, but there is a celebration coming. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Thanks everyone for watching, for listening.
We will see you next time.
Keep you updated on how we are going through the Lionsgate portal, and we will probably get more information and see more by probably next week or the week after.
Yes, definitely. And we'll really be feeling it next Tuesday. So we will share with you whatever we're called to share so that you guys have all the information. Just know that you are in charge. You know, this is not being done to us, it's being done for us, and we're facilitating as well on the soul level. So we're doing it for ourselves. So thank you so much. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you.